Alright, so in this video, I will share with you a very simple yet unknown trick to earn some of the best interest rates possible on your cash, while still keeping it FDIC insured and highly liquid. Sounds awesome, right? Well, in this video, I will talk to you about what brokered CDs are, how they are much better than a traditional savings account, and how you can buy them today. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, when it comes to CDs or certificates of deposits, most people think of those that are sold at their local bank. For example, you might lock up your money with Ally Bank for 6 months to earn a 1.25% annualized interest if you hold to maturity date. And that's not that bad. These are known as bank CDs, and they're fairly simple to understand. You lock up your money for a planned duration and receive interest in return. If you withdraw before the maturity date, you'll be penalized by losing 3 months worth of interest. On the flip side, brokered CDs are issued by those same banks, but now for the customers of brokerage firms like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab. This means that when you log into your brokerage account, you can find many CDs from hundreds of different banks across the country. Now, because these CDs are still obligations of the issuing banks, the money you deposit is still FDIC protected. And another difference is that brokered CDs are tradable in the secondary market, so they're generally more liquid than a bank CD. When you buy a brokered CD and hold until maturity date, you are still paid your principal and whatever interest you earned. Same thing as a bank CD. However, if you sell before maturity date, the value of your brokered CD will fluctuate depending on the size of the deposit, the interest rate environment, and the time until maturity date. So while there's not a 3-month penalty if you need to sell your CD before it matures, you may not like the market prices of your brokered CD on the secondary market either. So keep that in mind. And now that we understand the basics of a brokered CD, let's actually walk through what are the advantages and some disadvantages, especially when compared to traditional bank CDs. The first advantage is higher interest rates. Take Ally Bank, for example. Their interest rates on their 3-month CD is 0.75%, and the 1-year CD earns you 2.3% interest. Not too shabby, and much better than what you would get with a national bank like Chase or Wells Fargo. But let's now take a look at brokered CDs, and I'm using Charles Schwab as my personal platform. I can buy that same 3-month CD with Ally Bank that matures on November 18th, but now earn 2.3% interest. And that's 3x the interest rate compared to going to Ally Bank directly. If I wanted to hold my money for 1 year, I have a wide selection of FDIC-insured banks currently offering 3% or more in interest. So overall, you can earn a much higher interest rate using a brokered CD while still maintaining that same lockup duration. And the second advantage is that you can expand your FDIC coverage beyond that traditional $250,000 per account owner. You can actually combine a number of CDs issued by different banks through the same brokerage account. So this allows you to expand your protection and make sure that you have FDIC coverage for all of your savings. And the third main advantage is increased flexibility and convenience. Large brokerage firms like Schwab and Fidelity even offer 1-month CDs that earn upwards of 2% interest, which is currently a lot higher than many of the best high-yield savings accounts out there. You can also select and compare different CDs offered by different FDIC-insured banks, all under one single platform. Both Fidelity and Schwab also offer CD ladder builders, helping you automate your savings by buying a basket of CDs instead, especially if you want a more hands-off approach. And now the first thing to keep in mind is call risk. So a callable CD is one where the issuer or the bank has the right to liquidate your CD before maturity date. Now, these type of brokered CDs pay a higher interest rate, but they do carry on more risk because you might not be able to hold on to it until maturity date. So if you don't want to take on this risk, definitely make sure that the brokered CD that you purchase is non-callable. So if I select this CD, for example, we can see that it's non-callable, so I can't get liquidated early. And now the second thing to keep in mind is liquidity fees. So if you do want to sell your brokered CD back onto the secondary market before the maturity date, many of these brokerage firms will charge a small fee of $1 per $1,000 in CDs. So if you liquidate a $10,000 CD, for example, you should expect to pay about $10 in fees. So it's essentially a 0.1% fee if you want to liquidate early, so keep that in mind. And finally, the third thing to keep in mind is opportunity cost. So in my past video, I've talked about a Treasury bills and Series I savings bonds as really good options to park your cash. If you don't know what those are, be sure to check out those videos in the descriptions down below on how to buy them. But right now, if you want to lock up your cash for some duration between 1 month and 1 year, Treasury bills are offering really good rates of somewhere between 2 to 3%. And if you have cash that you don't anticipate using in the next year, you could look into I-bonds, which are offering 9.62% interest. And both of these securities are issued by the US government, so your money is well protected. So while I labeled these as 3 risks, it's more so just things to keep in mind. You don't have to worry about call risk if you select a non-callable CD. You don't have to worry about liquidity fees if you hold your CDs until maturity date. And the third is very specific to your own personal situation. If you have money on the sidelines that you need to make short-term purchases, then brokered CDs might be a really good option to earn the highest interest rates possible. But if you're planning for retirement though, then consider adding more to your 401ks, your IRAs, and your HSAs if you haven't done so already. So with all that said, let's actually walk you through how to actually buy them. Again, you can do this with any large brokerage firm, and I personally use Charles Schwab, but the steps are the exact same. They'll just have a different user interface. So at the very top of Charles Schwab, you'll click on Trade, select CDs. What's particularly nice about Schwab is that all of the CDs they offer come from FDIC-insured banks, so there's no risk of losing protection there. You'll then select the duration you'd like to deposit your money for. Now, personally, I'm going to go with a 1-month duration, mostly because I expect interest rates to continue rising in the future, so I don't want to lock up my money for too long. But again, choose what works for you. Now, in the description, you'll see exactly what you're buying. In this case, this is a CD offered by Western Alliance Bank in Arizona, paying 2% annualized interest, maturing on September 15th. If I select it again, you can see exactly what the security is called. Keep in mind too that because it is a security, I can actually transfer it between brokerage firms, so that's pretty cool, especially if you want to consolidate all of your holdings into one account. You can also find the location of the bank and the FDIC number, and coupon frequency in this case says that I'm paid on the maturity date, which is fine by me. If you have longer term CDs, the interest might be paid monthly or semi-annually instead. Most importantly for me, it's non-callable, so I can absolutely hold onto it until maturity date to earn my interest. So now that I know exactly what I'm buying, I'll select buy. Now, one limitation is that you must purchase brokered CDs in $1,000 intervals. So for now, I'll just put down 1,000. I'll check that the interest is 2% and not callable. On Schwab, there's actually an option where you can automatically roll over your CD. So you can actually let Schwab reinvest the CD on your behalf if you want to keep it a more hands-off approach. I like to choose my CD purchases though, so I'll click on no, I'll verify my order and then submit. So I know that's a lot of information, but again, this is one of the best ways to earn the highest interest rates possible on your cash while still keeping it FDIC insured and highly liquid. It's a little bit more difficult than managing a bank CD, but the interest rates are so much higher that it makes it all worth it. Either way, I'd love to know your thoughts down below and whether this type of video was helpful. Love you, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.